Meeting to order of Linn County Planning and Zoning. Looks like we've got a quorum here, 6 of us. First thing we need to do is pledge allegiance. Can you lead us out, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, before we get into the CUPs and the rezoning that we have on our agenda tonight, I came up with a worksheet that I'd like for us to follow for each CUP and rezoning, just to be sure we got all our bases covered and we're considering everything we should be considering. Jenny's done a real good job in her staff reports outlining these golden findings. And so some cases we'll just go through her findings, have discussion about them, decide whether we agree with them or not, don't agree with them. But this will give us some guidelines to follow. So we'll be using this sheet for all 3 of the hearings tonight. There you go. Okay, under new business, the first conditional use permit hearing is is for a butcher shop by Thomas Yoder. Jenny, would you like to get up and give us your findings on them? Or your staff report?
Okay, so this is case number USKS 107LU 2026-3 for Thomas Yoder at 12891 West 2200 Road in Lacey, Kansas. The applicant, Thomas Yoder, requests approval of a conditional use permit to construct and operate a custom butcher shop in his agriculturally zoned property located at 12891 West 2200 Road in Lacey. The proposed facility would provide custom meat processing services consistent with small-scale agriculture support uses. The property is currently used as pasture, and all surrounding parcels are also in pasture or ag use. No residential subdivisions or commercial nodes are located in the immediate vicinity. The applicant proposes to construct a custom butcher shop intended for processing livestock for private individuals, cutting, packaging, and cold storage, no retail storefront indicated unless later approved, waste disposal and byproduct management per state and federal regulations, compliance with KDA and USDA requirements. The facility is expected to operate during standard business hours and to serve local agriculture producers. The surrounding area is entirely agriculture, consisting of open pasture land. A custom butcher shop is considered compatible with the agriculture operations as it supports local livestock producers, does not introduce incompatible urban or commercial activity, is low impact in terms of traffic and noise compared to other potential conditional uses. No conflicts with residential neighborhoods or sensitive land uses are anticipated. Traffic is expected to increase modestly due to customer drop-off, pickup of livestock and processed meat. West 2200 Road is adequate for low to moderate rural traffic volumes. No significant road improvements are anticipated at this time. Key considerations include waste and effluent management must comply with KDA and KDHE standards. Solid waste byproduct disposal must be approved, rendered, or composting procedures. Odor control measures must be implemented to minimize impacts. Water supply and septic capacity must be verified as adequate for processing operations. No environmental red flags are identified based on the proposed location and surrounding land uses. The Linn County Comprehensive Plan supports agricultural preservation, value-added agriculture businesses, and rural economic development. A custom butcher shop aligns with these goals by supporting local producers and maintaining agriculture land use patterns. Staff findings: the proposed use is consistent with the Ag Zoning District when approved through a CUP. The use is compatible with surrounding agriculture properties. The project supports agriculture operations and rural economic activity. Environmental and public health impacts can be adequately mitigated through standard regulatory compliance. Traffic impacts are expected to be minimal and manageable. Recommended conditions of approval: the staff recommends approval of the CUP with the following conditions: compliance with all local, state, and federal regulations, including KDA and KDHE requirements. Waste disposal plan must be submitted and approved prior to operation. Adequate water and septic systems must be verified and permitted. Hours of operation limited to 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. unless otherwise approved. No retail sale unless future amendment or CUP is approved. Driveway and access improvements as required by the County Road Department. Site plan approval required prior to construction. Words are hard today. CUP review after 1 year of operation to ensure compliance. The staff recommends approval of case number USK 107LU 2026-3, subject to the conditions listed above.
Thank you. Is the applicant here, or anybody representing the applicant? Would you like to have them explain what you're doing? State your name and where you're from.
Yeah, so my name is Thomas Yoder, from Lacine, Kansas, the address that Jenny gave. We moved in here from Kentucky and 2 years ago. Currently doing excavating, but I have always enjoyed meat processing. We've processed meat from at home, our own, from all of my life for that matter. But yeah, I'd like to do something that serves the community and provides an income for us while myself working at home. Would probably consist of several employees if business comes to that place anyway. There's enough business. But yeah, just a small scale meat processing, custom meat processing is what we're looking at
Okay.
on the home place there.
Just a couple of questions that I've got.
Sure.
If you'd please stay at the podium,
Yeah.
we may have others. Can you talk a little about the odor control and what measures you're going to use to help with that?
Sure. So as far as the off-haul, probably the primary concern, we'd be looking at just a render service of some kind to get rid of the off-haul. And that has to be contained, if I'm not mistaken, in a cooled room of some kind until they come pick it up.
Okay.
We would like to look at composting in, if this goes through in the future, if that would be an option, we would have to have materials to compost with. That would all be a process of, yeah.
Okay, so it shouldn't be any issue with odor then if you're keeping it cool, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Cleanliness and keeping the off-haul in control is.
One of Jenny's recommendations is the hours of operation between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Mhm.
Are you expecting a lot of clients coming and going for this type of operation?
Not necessarily. We're not planning on retailing meat, so it'll basically be, an individual bringing their own livestock. We kill it and they come and pick it up. So I don't expect a heavy amount of.
Okay. So the idea here, Jenny, is to limit his clients to visit him between the hours of 6 and 7. Is that the idea? So you obviously could operate. I mean, if he had processing to do beyond those hours or before those hours, that shouldn't be an issue, should it?
I wouldn't think so. I could see maybe deer season, you might have somebody come call.
Yeah.
That would be I think like a special circumstance, but
Mhm.
I didn't see anything in his plan that would suggest that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What kind of capacity are you looking at?
That's a tough question. I don't want to get big. Um, I would say maximum capacity would be maybe 15 beef a week, not more than 20. I really would think 12 to 15 beef a week and possibly up to 20 hogs a week.
Are you gonna kill
But-
every day of the week, or you
No.
have certain kill days?
No, we would only be killing 2 days of the week under normal circumstances. Basically killing beef one day and hogs another.
Help me with the address. 2200 Road.
12891 West 2200 Road.
It's Gary Boyer's old place, Brad. Just west of Prairie View. Gary Boyer's.
Oh, where you, after you go down the steep hill and then back up
Yeah.
on the south side.
hmm
What do they got for water out there?
We've got rural water there.
But how big water?
I couldn't tell you.
Because it does require a lot of water.
There's quite a bit of water going to be used, yes.
And then what are you gonna do with the wastewater?
Well, I'd like to see about a lagoon, but that's pending. It'd have to be run through a septic, I'm sure. A holding tank's what I'm saying.
I believe if I read that correctly, that is state regulated and a lagoon is a possibility.
It is.
What other questions do we have? All right, Mr. Yoder, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak in behalf of the proponent or opponent of this CUP? Anybody in the audience? Okay. All right, we'll close comments now and we'll work on it as a committee and go through the golden rules and then have a vote. So this is the only one Jenny didn't put through the golden for us, so we'll have to do it here. First one is character of the neighborhood. We need to examine the existing setting in the area, its development pattern, intensity, street character, and whether its site fits or departs from that pattern. I mean, I don't think it's going to change the character of the neighborhood at all, but let's
What's his
talk
closest
about it.
neighbor? How far is your closest neighbor?
Oh.
Eighth of a mile to a quarter.
You can see on that map, if you look at his house,
Oh,
John, big, very wide there. He would-
and there was nobody that wrote in, no, what I'm trying to say today,
Didn't have any
that
comment.
opposed.
See if I can find the map. No, the internet's yeah, okay. Any other comments on number one there? Number two, compare the request to adjacent zoning and actual land uses to judge compatibility, transitions, and whether the change would create an isolated or inconsistent district. So assume this is that he's zoned agricultural?
Yes, and I went over that in my staff report.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Well,
So
yeah,
everything around it's agricultural.
right.
Okay. So I think we're good there, right? Suitability of property for current zoning, decide whether the land can still be reasonably used as presently zoned, which is agricultural, considering the real site conditions rather than theoretical possibilities. So I don't think there's any change there. comments on that? Number 4, extent of detriment to nearby property. Evaluate whether the proposed change would materially harm neighboring property through traffic, noise, lighting, drainage, or other measurable impacts. Any concerns there, Brad?
Process necessary.
So, yeah, so all we're doing here is, the reason I asked you is because you had some questions about water and so forth. All we're doing here, this isn't, we don't have to meet every one of these conditions as I understand it. This is just a guideline for us to be sure we're taking everything into account. And to me, that number 4, I don't see there's any measurable impact. The reason I asked you about it, because I know you had some questions on the water.
I can see it isn't going to require a lot. If I remember back, it's about in a commercial, full-blown commercial, it's about 350 gallons per head on the kill. Which, hey, that's see the flow. The wastewater probably.
Okay. So I think we're okay there too. Any other comments on 4? 5, length of time the property has remained vacant is zoned. Well, it's not vacant, it's zone agricultural. So I don't think that one applies. Balance the public benefit of keeping existing zoning. Well, this isn't really a zoning change, this is a CUP. So I don't think that one applies. Number 7, staff recommendation. When we hear these, we're supposed to take into account staff's recommendation, whether it's for the CUP or against it. That's a big factor in us determining which way to go. In this case, the staff has recommended the passing of this CUP, so we're good there. And then conformance with the comprehensive plan. Jenny outlined well in her report that this does follow the comprehensive plan. And so I think we're good there. Don't let me go too fast. If you got any questions, let me know. And this last one is really not controlling, but public comment can be a factor sometimes. We're not hearing a lot on this CUP. So I think we've covered that.
Have you had a site plan visit with KDHE? That I think would be a huge determinant factor. And
Missing
power, electricity. Is there 3-phase power there?
No, I think if I'm using a 3-phase. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? Now we're in the discussion phase. We just talk amongst ourselves what our concerns are, what the positives are before we take a vote. So I think from a positive standpoint, this is generating good business for the community and service for the community. I think it's in the middle of agricultural area, like we talked about, so there's no concerns there. Looks like a good thing to me. Well, Anything else, Brad?
I agree with you. I think it's something the community, not only Linn County, but neighboring counties would really use. My big concern is it's just where the location is and jumping through the hurdles with KDHE. And the only reason I go through this is about 3 years ago, I did the same thing. I do believe there could be other opportunities within the county that may be a better fit if you run into trouble with the KDHE. But I think your idea of this business is a much needed business for, like I said, this county, this part of the state, and there's a huge need. It's a growing business. I think I'm excited that you're thinking of this and that you have enough energy to do this, because it is a battle. But I can't find anything else that I would call a negative at this point. I think you've got a tough road to go, but looks to me like you may be willing to take it.
Anybody else? Steve?
You said you thought about using a generator to power the coolers with and all that, so that,
Basically, three things. A lot of the equipment is three things. It'll take a third, it's usually about three things. You have to have a generator run by electric, basically.
a phase converter.
Right, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we wasn't gonna let a generator run all night,
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
In fact, the cooler space for
Cause them, all the coolers and everything will use a lot of power.
They're gonna have to be three phase.
Yeah,
If not, you won't be able to afford them. But if you had three phase power,
but
it would be the easiest, but it
Yeah.
could be done phase.
Not very economically, but
That's why, that was why I wanted my comment. Could be other places that would maybe be more
feasible.
feasible. The dealing with the off-fall is a big problem. And there are rendering services that you're up against their schedule.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of different options as well. Not necessarily compost, but incinerators.
Okay.
And incinerators work really good.
All right, any other comments? So the only thing that I would suggest we add, this is really minor, but the recommended conditions of approval that Jenny's come up with. Number 4, the waste disposal, I just ask that that be submitted in writing. That's it. Do I hear a motion? Do we approve this based on Jenny's recommendations on conditions of approval? From anybody?
I'll make a
Make a
motion.
motion, we approve it.
Moved. Any second?
Second.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of improving case number US-KS 107-LU-2026-3, which is the Thomas Yoder is the applicant, the CUP for a custom butcher shop. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say no. Okay, it passes. Unanimous. Okay, on to our next case. Jenny, you ready?
Born ready.
Okay.
Okay, our next one is case number USKS 107LU 2026-1 for CNC Properties and Land Management, represented by Carly Campbell. This is to rezone 7.21 acres from ag to countryside. The address is 18155 Kansas Highway 52 here in Mound City, or just outside of Mound City. The former residence that was there was destroyed by fire. I just wanted to bring that up. Everything around it is ag. The applicant, Carly Campbell, requests rezoning of approximately 7.21 acres from ag to countryside. The property previously contained a single-family residence, which was recently destroyed by fire and declared a total loss. The applicant seeks rezoning to countryside to allow for future residential use consistent with Countryside District. The site is located at Kansas Highway 52 with surrounding properties remaining in agriculture, production, or open pasture. Excuse me. The Countryside Zoning District is intended to support low-density rural residential development, allow limited agriculture uses, provide a transition between ag land and rural residential patterns. Rezoning to countryside is consistent with the applicant's intent to reestablish a home site on the property. Surrounding land use and zoning, the surrounding parcels are zoned ag and primarily used for pasture, crop production, and scattered rural residences on large tracts. The proposed rezoning would not introduce an incompatible use with that area. The Linn County Comprehensive Plan supports preservation of ag land, allowing rural residential development in appropriate locations, encouraging infill or redevelopment where infrastructure already exists, supporting low-density housing along major transportation corridors when compatible with surrounding uses. This request aligns with the plan because the property previously supported a residence. The rezoning does not fragment the agricultural land. The parcel is located along a state highway with existing utility access. The Countryside District is appropriate for rural residential redevelopment. The area is rural, consisting of agricultural land with scattered large lot residences. Rezoning to countryside maintains that character and is consistent with the development patterns. The property is suitable for agricultural use, however, its size and history as a home site make it equally suitable for rural residential use under countryside zoning. No detrimental impacts are anticipated. A single rural residence is compatible with surrounding agriculture operations. The property was recently vacated due to destruction of the residence by a fire. It has not remained vacant due to lack of market demand or zoning constraints. Public gain from denying the request is minimal. The applicant would face hardship in redeveloping the property from residential use without rezoning. Approval supports reasonable land use. The staff finds the request reasonable, consistent with the comprehensive plan, and compatible with the surrounding land uses. The request aligns with the plan's goal for rural residential development in appropriate areas and redevelopment of existing home site. The staff finds the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The proposed countryside zoning is compatible with surrounding agricultural uses. The property previously supported a residence, making redevelopment appropriate. The rezoning will not negatively impact agriculture operations in the area, and the 8 golden factors support approval of the request. Staff recommends approval for case USKS 107 LU 2026-1, rezoning 7.21 acres from ag to countryside.
Thank you. Okay, is the applicant here? Would you like to step up, identify yourself and tell us?
I
about
mean,
this?
it's just being, there's a young family wanting to build a house on the property. So, I think whenever we reduce the acreage, it could no longer be agriculture then, since it was 7.2.
Right.
Is what I'm,
Of 10. So we have to go to ag.
so it-
Or
Did you say your name was?
Carly Campbell,
okay.
sorry.
So right now it's zoned agricultural, right?
correct.
hmm
And the rest of the parcel, has it been parceled off?
It's been surveyed.
It's been surveyed?
Yes.
Okay. So the rest of the property would remain ag,
Yes.
and this 7.21 acres would go to countryside? That's the idea?
Right.
Is that 7.21 acres the north?
It's just like that little square. So
Okay,
that, yeah.
So you're going to square it off here?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Okay. All right.
Right.
And where that little square is, there used to be a house that was there, so it already has water, electric, gas.
Okay.
But how did we get to 7.2 acres instead of 10?
Well, yes, then we have to cut it.
But I thought we needed 10.
That's why we're going.
Is there an existing fence there for that property where it was resurveyed?
No, there's no fence on the property any longer. I think there might be a fence on the west side, but I mean, I don't think barely there.
What's the rest of the property going to be used for?
It's mostly just timber. There's a pond on it. It's zoned as agriculture right now. There's not much you can do with it unless somebody wanted to hunt on it. You couldn't run cattle on it. You can't farm it.
One of your handouts there has an aerial of it. There you go.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So Jenny, do we have to replat this first, or how does this
No,
work?
the only reason we're doing it this way is because that parcel, since it fell a little below, we could have done a variance maybe, but since it did fall below that 10, we wanted to go countryside with that. Stay in our zoning bylaws, and then the rest of that will be, so if somebody decides they want to use that for pasture or, like she said, hunting or whatever. But then a house can be put back on that property.
That makes sense to you, Hal?
Yes.
Any other questions for Carly? Anybody?
Is it the 7.2 bedrooms, that farmhouse on to them?
Just one.
What are you gonna do with the timber pond?
That's-
I'm not going to do anything with it. That's not the 7.
What you own?
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions of the committee of Carly? Thank you. Anybody else in the audience would like to speak for or against the CUP?
We own the land around it.
Can you identify your name, please? What's your name?
We own the land around it across the creek.
Okay,
I mean, it will come right up to the house that they're going to build. And I don't understand why she has to change the name. It's agricultural land. Why does she have to change it to a pretty name to build a house?
Under our zoning regulations, anything that falls under 10 acres is considered countryside.
I didn't understand you. What did you say?
Anything that falls under 10 acres can be considered countryside. So this is 7.21 acres, so this is the reason that for the zoning change, it's called countryside. Anything from 0 to 4.9 acres is residential.
In other words, if she could go on ahead and build houses in there. She couldn't?
No.
No.
Not without coming in to us again. And it can only be split so many times.
I don't like it, I don't like it.
Thank you for your comments.
I guess there was once a house there before, and that's where they planned on building the house. Yeah. I think
Any-
our concern is that
Can you step up? Can you step
Step
up?
up to the mic, do you want to speak?
so where the house is going to be built is the same place that the house was. The house that was there wasn't livable. It was, I mean, it had sat vacant for quite some time.
Okay.
And it's not going to be a subdivision or anything. The 7.2 acres will just have one house on it like it did before.
Okay, thank you.
So
Anybody,
the
anybody?
house that,
Go ahead.
in the picture, that's where it's gonna be
Yes.
on the map here?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm
That house-
personally not the one building it. It's a young couple who would like to purchase the 7.2. It's not me building it.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else want to speak, please step to the podium and identify yourself and where you're from. So everybody, the only reason I ask you to do that, because there's some people watching this, it's streamed, and that way they can hear you. Anybody else? Okay. Okay. All right, thank you. We'll close public comments now. Just like the one before, we'll go through. You have discussion, concerns, any other questions that come up? So any questions off I think it's pretty straightforward. The home sounds like it's going to be pretty close to where the previous home was. Jenny's outlined it pretty well in her findings. Anything else? Questions? Al? Okay. Okay.
You did say you owned the rest of this parcel? Of this L shape, this map?
Yes.
Have you got any of the other property around it besides that?
No,
Just that?
No.
How many acres is that?
it was a total of 40 acres.
Total of 40
It-
with the 7 point?
It was a total of 40, and now it's 7.2 and like 33 acres.
What's the regulations on road frontage?
Meaning,
Got so many feet of road frontage with so much depth, right?
I don't think so.
that.
Not that I've seen anything like that. And I'm not saying that I haven't seen anything.
I just didn't want it to limit her from doing something with the other 33 acres.
oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh,
Sure,
okay.
sure. He's our regulation guy. Do you know of anything? As far
I
as
have to look,
frontage?
I would have to look in the regulations about the road frontage.
So that'd be a state highway too.
Right.
By her selling it 7.2 acres and narrowing up the road frontage, that may limit what she can do with the.
With the 33 left. Carl, are you aware of that? Anything?
I thought we had looked into that, and I thought we were okay on it, but
Jenny?
We had That's the walk, that's why we split it right there where it is, so she still has enough road frontage for that remaining 33
Okay.
acres
Okay,
of land.
okay.
So
And there's a drive to the 33, like you can pull into
Yeah,
it.
she's got
there is an
access
existing
line.
driveway
Yeah.
already there. to
Yes.
get into the 33 acres,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And a driveway to get into.
And to where the house
So
is.
you've got two different driveways.
Yeah.
right there.
The water main actually sits, or there's like a water, like there's water access, and I'm pretty sure like that's where the rural water department, there's like a large pipe that sits right out in front.
For the house.
In front of the house.
Well, yeah, where the house was.
Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a little.
Which both were state approved, so. Also. Okay.
Thanks, Carly. All right. This time on our, any more comments, questions? Okay. This time on our golden findings worksheet, Jenny has pretty well gone through that. So we need to go through with what she's found and add or delete or change anything we think needs to be changed. So start below number 6 on her report. Character of the neighborhood, the area is rural, consisting of agricultural land, scattered large lot residences. Rezoning to countryside maintains the rural character. May I agree with that? Okay. Uses of nearby properties, all surrounding properties are zoned ag and used for agriculture. The countryside zoning district is compatible with ag and does not create land use conflicts. We all good with that? Okay. Number 3, suitability of property for uses permitted under the current zoning. The property is suitable for agricultural use. However, its size and history as a home site make it suitable for rural residents under the countryside zoning. All right, 4, extent to which removal restrictions will detrimentally affect nearby property. No detrimental impacts are anticipated. Single rural residence is compatible with the agricultural operations. Hearing no comments. Number 5, length of time the property has remained vacant or zoned. It's been vacant because of fire, not because of lack of market demand or zoning constraints. So I think we're good there too. Number 6, the public gain from denying this request is minimal. The applicant would face hardship redeveloping the property for residential use without rezoning. Approval supports the reasonable use of the land. Stop me if you want to make a comment. Recommendations of professional staff, the staff recommends this, and it does conform with the comprehensive plan. Okay. More discussion. Okay. Do I hear a motion
My motion to approve
based on the findings, based on her
based
findings?
on the findings.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Okay, we're going to vote for the approval or denial of US-K7107-LU-2026-1. All in favor of this rezoning, say aye.
Aye.
Against, no. Passes unanimously. Okay. Thank you. On to the next. Okay, this is one that we've heard before, but Jenny's going to go ahead and go through the staff report. We're going to hear it again.
Okay, this is Youth Front, formerly Kansas City Youth for Christ, case number USKS 107 LU 2025-7. And this is located at 22724 East 2400 Road in Lacine, Kansas. It is 257.91 acres. The request is to rezone from ag to heavy industrial. Rezoning will allow for future sale and potential industrial development. The applicant, Youth Front, formerly Kansas City Youth for Christ, requests rezoning approximately 257.91 acres from ag to heavy industrial. The property is being prepared for future sale, and the applicant seeks zoning that will allow a broader range of industrial uses for potential buyers. No specific development proposal has been submitted at this time, and even if there was, it would have to go through a CUP. Let's see. Staff has had 2 contacts regarding this application, 1 walk-in complaint, and then I did enclose 1 email. Individual visited the office about expressing concern about potential industrial uses and impacts of nearby residences. And then, of course, the email that you have from Stephanie Walker. The request is in conformance with the comprehensive plan, which identifies this area as appropriate for long-term industrial growth due to proximity to existing quarry and extractive uses, large parcel size suitable for industrial operations, limited conflicts with municipal infrastructure or urban development patterns, strategic location for economic development opportunities. The plan supports a rezoning when it aligns with economic development goals and when impacts on surrounding properties can be mitigated through the site plan and permitting process. Kansas planning law requires consideration of the following factors: character of the neighborhood. The area is predominantly agriculture with scattered rural residences. Industrial activity, quarrying, has historically occurred nearby. The proposed zoning is compatible with existing extractive uses. The zoning and uses of nearby property. Surrounding properties are zoned ag. The presence of a quarry operations and large tracts of undeveloped land reduces potential land use conflicts. The property is large, particularly disturbed by quarry activity and no longer used as a youth camp. Continued agriculture use is possible, but not the highest and best use. Potential industrial uses could create noise, traffic, lighting, or visual impacts. These impacts will be addressed through future site plan review, conditional use processes, and permitting requirements. No specific project has been proposed at this time. Industrial zoning may support economic development, job creation, and tax base expansion. Public welfare impacts will depend on the nature of the future development. The request is consistent with the comprehensive plans and goals for industrial industrial growth and economic development. No immediate impacts are anticipated. Future development will require review of roads, utilities, emergency services, and environmental considerations. The staff finds the request aligns with comprehensive plan. The property size and location make it suitable for industrial zoning. The public concerns are noted, however, not specific industrial use is proposed at this time. Any future development will require additional review, including site plans and permitting, which will address environmental, traffic, and neighborhood impacts. The staff recommends approval of the rezoning request from ag to heavy industrial, subject to the following considerations. Any future development must undergo a full site plan review. Industrial uses with significant environmental or operational impacts may require additional conditional use permits. Staff encourages the applicant to engage with nearby residents as future plans develop.
Jenny,
Yes.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
On number 2, on the Golden,
Yes.
the surrounding properties are zoned ag.
Yes.
So the quarries there are zoned ag?
Would you like me to bring in the I have a big map, but I wasn't able to get it.
Well, you can just tell us. I mean, I think everybody's familiar where the quarries are. My question is, the neighboring quarries, are they zoned ag or industrial?
I believe, I need to look at that map.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And Christopher is here also, the one representing this. But I did print those maps out. And it has the zoning. And I'm sorry, I can't for sure say.
Yeah, why would that be? So this is showing ag. So the property to the east of it, which is a operating quarry, is, you should have showing ag. Same with the property south of it. Okay,
And that was, I just had those made today, so.
okay. All right, thank you. Okay, applicant, here to speak?
Hello, everybody. My name is Topher Philgreen. This is a perfunctory hearing, I think, because there was an administrative snafu and somebody didn't get notified. So we need to make sure that anybody from the public wants to speak at this hearing. So I was here a couple months ago, and I think I did about a 45-minute report. I don't think you want that again. I'd be happy to. I have it all right here. But just as a reminder, Youth Front Camps, Kansas City Youth for Christ, we've been in Kansas City for 80 years, over 80 years. We have two camps. One's on the Linn County, Miami County line, and one is over in Miami County off of Spoon Creek Road. Do several thousand kids at our two camps. There's a little bit of misnomer. We're closing this camp. We're not closing this camp. We're going to keep this camp. We're just going to change where the entrance is in the road. We're taking our south land, the land that's in Linn County. We're either going to sell it or lease it. We don't know yet. We don't have anything in tow. We don't have any plans. We've just been told that this land, because of where it's situated, because of what it's surrounded by, the highest and best use for this land is to be rezoned to I-2. Just as a reminder, to our east is an operating quarry, as well as on part of our land, which is operated, it is zoned as ag. A quarry operates under ag, but it operates under a CUP. So by right, a quarry can be on ag land, but it has to be governed by a CUP. So in both of those situations, the Wades, now Hams, now I don't even know who owns that quarry now, honestly. It had to go through a full CUP process, full hearing process to get their CUP. Even though it is zoned ag, it's heavy industrial type activity. So the character and nature of the neighborhood, according to the golden criteria, which I'm very familiar with, that particular test and those particular guidelines, it's heavy industrial activity. Even though it's on ag, it's under a CUP on that. Same thing with the Wade's quarry, right across the street. 2400 Road. So we're right on 2400 Road. Right to our east is the old Wade's quarries, which is now, that's right to our south. Just recently, within the past year, there was a CUP hearing where that was approved to do a quarry literally right across the street. So we have a blasting happening, within feet of our manager houses that are right there. Additionally, the land to the east is owned by Evergy. It's actually zoned I-2 already. So we're contiguous with land that is zoned heavy industrial right now.
Say that again, land of the east?
All of Evergy's land is heavy industrial. And we touch that land.
I thought Ham was to the east.
Ham is on the southeast corner. But if you go further north towards the Miami County line, the Evergy land, which is zoned heavy industrial, touches our property. So we are contiguous. And then, so that's on two sides. On the third side, we have a highway, a 4-lane divided highway. And fortunately, we have a berm that got built there when they built the highway. They had some overburden that was extra, and we have about a mile long berm that's built along the highway. So it was to protect us more than to protect the highway, because that highway became a lot more noisy when they widened it several years ago. So that was a blessing that we have that berm. So we have 257 acres there. It would be considered brownfield. It's not good for row crops. You can't grow row crops. In fact, there's rock pretty closely below this. That's why the quarries are there, because there's really good rock close to the surface. So it's not good for row cropping. It's okay maybe for grazing, but it's not really good fertile farm ground. So our plan is to rezone this highest and best use we need to renovate that camp, and we're getting ready to build a third camp over at our other facility. So we're raising funds to do this. We have a lot of great, very generous donors, but we just came off of a capital campaign, and we're trying to figure out ways to raise some capital so that we can do our renovation of this camp at this location, as well as build our third camp at the other location, and punch a road, through. We don't have any plans. This bottom line is we don't have any plans, but that's the general direction that we're going. We're a nonprofit youth organization. There's no single owner. We're owned. I mean, we have board of directors that are our fiduciary responsibility. So I'm condensing everything by a lot. So I guess I stand for any questions, or maybe if something comes up in the public hearing, I can readdress it. But felt like this is kind of perfunctory process, but I wanted to make sure I covered
Brad,
it.
you weren't here for the first go around. Have you got any questions?
You're already operating a quarry on your land that you have leased.
We are not operating it. It's operated by,
Leasing it out.
we lease it out currently right now.
So you're just wanting to get this rezoned so that you could possibly sell the rest of it.
Possibly sell, possibly lease.
So you're already generating income from this piece that you have leased out.
Yes, we are a little bit. Quarries are years in the making. We generate a little bit of income, but it's a 20-year run. It's nothing that would help us do what we need to do. It's just to do about a $6 or $7 million renovation of our camps. So.
So to sell,
It's not an active quarry on your property?
Uh-huh.
It is an active.
Oh yeah, they're pulling stuff out of there. We just got a notice yesterday that there's more blasting going on in the next few days. Because we have houses right there. So
I guess I got the stupid question. Why do you want to change that to industrial now before you even find anybody to do anything?
because of its unique situational because of where it's uniquely situated. It's uniquely situated in a place that's surrounded by already heavy industrial activity, with a highway that's loud, with a power plant, with a smokestack that's loud. I mean, there's a lot of things that really make this property pretty unique. And so when we've gotten counsel on what's the best way we can bring the best use for our ministry, the best thing that we can do is get it rezoned so that it's ready to go when we go out there and look for a partner. Like I said, we don't have anybody we haven't even taken it out or shopped it or anything like that. We just want to make it possible. We just know we want to expand what we're doing in the Kansas City area and all of our ministries. And our board gave us the directive that this is the way to do it, that we need to, we own 630 acres down there. We use about 100 of it for the camping operation. And we have paused camping for this summer until we can get this process done. With all the delays, I'm concerned about our timing because we've already lost now 3 months on this thing. But
On the marketing of it is what you're saying? Think you've lost 3 months because of the marketing of it?
well, the administrative snafus have delayed this process a lot. I think my first time here was in February, so we're into.
we
April.
heard it in February, and we made an administrative error. We have to go back now legally and hear it again. So and then we've had some scheduling situations where it's taken 3 months to get it back here. So that's what he's talking about.
It's just part of the process of the public being able to,
Sure.
have plenty of notice, and it's part of the democracy we live in. So.
Any more questions? Thank you, Topher.
Yep.
Appreciate it. We may have some more questions, so hang around. Anybody else like to make a comment on this rezoning? Please stand at the podium and state your name.
My name is Renee Kratzberg. I haven't had a lot of time to research your endeavor there, but it came onto my radar. And I was kind of concerned about 260 acres being changed from agriculture to heavy industrial. I could see where that would be a big bonus for them to bring in a data center or Bitcoin or crypto or something like that. And I don't want to see that happen in Linn County. A little bit of the research I did on your company if you follow the money back, you guys are funded by the Lilly Company. I did come across that, who is one of the top 4 pharma companies. So I had a little bit of concern there.
Anything else?
That'll be it for now.
Okay. Thanks, Renee. Appreciate it.
It's the old wage quarry, do they still actively mine in the old wage quarry, or is it mined out?
That's the one to the east.
That's the one to the east.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they still use it. They still use it.
So they're mining there and on youth front at the same time?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're actually pulling rock out right now. If Jake's not here, there's 2 different rock layers. They've got the top layer, but they could go deeper if they want to. But I know that they're taking the rock that they're mining that's on our side of the line, they take it up over a hill and then they process it on their side, on the
They've left the crusher over there.
the crusher's over there, the weighers over there, the gatehouse is over there, that kind of a thing. So the only other thing I'd probably address is that we're a nonprofit. We've been donor supported for 80 years. We have gotten a competitive grant from the Lilly Foundation. They have a whole Christian subsection that they do. I don't know how many thousands of grants to Christian organizations to do research projects, which I would encourage you to research that because it is pretty amazing. But any grants that we get, whether it's from the Department of Justice for our prison programs that we do with kids, or from the Lilly grants for our faith and service project, those are all very regulated and can only be done for very specific research. So we're not funded by Lilly, but we have competed for grants and have gotten a grant from Lilly, as well as the Kansas Department of Corrections, as well as the Sutherland Foundation. We do a lot of fundraising and getting grants from anywhere we can. It's a big part of our mission. So thank you.
Thank you, Topher.
How many ton of rock are they taking off of your portion of this quarry now?
I'm looking at Fletch. I don't know. All I know is we get we get a report about once a month, and we just get it's like a per tonnage kind of a royalty thing. And I don't know how they figure it. I know that it can be audited. Like, we have the right to audit their books to see what it is, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I'm sorry. It definitely goes in waves. I mean, it's like they'll be pulling stuff out and it's like crazy, a lot of activity, and then it'll be quiet for 6 months. So.
Questions? Okay, we'll close the floor for comments and enter in discussion with the committee. Any questions or any concerns or about this request?
The way it's operating now, it's within the zoning regulations because it is zoned area.
Right. Right.
So, and there's a CUP on the youth front property.
I know Wade's has it. I don't know exactly where that is.
That's probably because the crusher's still located on the property. So it can continue to operate and take rock from the youth front property.
The way I understand it, yes.
So I guess my concern is with the way that it's set up now, it's fulfilling what has been approved in the past.
Right.
But they're just looking for I don't know how to exactly word that, but they're looking for a green light on the zone to go and pursue other
Yeah,
endeavors.
right. To market it to other. If it was just quarry, they wouldn't need to change the zoning. They're looking to change the zoning so they can market it to other types of businesses.
in the B.
It should all the industrial areas in red, I know that. Get it?
Should be right behind you there on the wall too.
So I looked on my map on my phone on my Onyx, and because I was confused about the Ham or whoever owns the quarry to the east. And Evergy does butt up to half of this property that he's looking at. And I'm assuming that's in, like he said, it's zoned industrial.
It looks to me like what they're talking about is not included.
No, it would be new. Yes.
Yeah. It's zone ag now. It's zone ag now, and that's what they're looking to change.
I do have concern about changing to heavy industrial before we know what's gonna happen.
I do too.
Hate to change it to industrial and vaguely not know who's gonna buy it, what are they gonna throw in.
Yeah, we've got control of it
Well, I understand that.
down the road. So
I clearly don't understand the aspect of changing from ag. They can still quarry it. They can still do with whatever they want on it, the way it is. Why all of a sudden do we want to change this to heavy industrial? Without, it's gonna be the, I understand what you're saying. With that, we can control that with the conditional use.
yeah, so my understanding is to be able to market the property. If Toyota wants to come in and put a plant in there or whatever, be able to market the property. He's going to be able to market it much better if it's zone industrial. It'll give them more avenues to sell and support their cause. Down the road, if we do zone it industrial, and there's somebody wants to go in there and put something that doesn't fit in that neighborhood, we've got control of it.
Even if we go ahead and change it, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, if we don't change it, leave it ag, it's one more layer that has to be.
It's one more layer, but I think we're taking the opportunity, reducing his opportunity there. And it could end up being, do that, it could end up being a quarry.
It is.
Yeah, so what the only thing he could market that as, be a quarry or something ag.
Or if they come up with a plan, bring us a plan.
It's just hard to sell.
But we still, even if they quarry, they still have to apply for a cup.
Sure, absolutely. It is one more layer. But in supporting the comprehensive plan to support, and Hal can speak to this better than I can speak to it, but to support businesses and to support growth within the county, we're taking that layer away to open up that opportunity.
Well, the comprehensive clearly states that we were supposed to try to use, and would it be a benefit to change it to heavy industrial to adjoin the Evergy property and that big red, all that industrial land that's up there? would this benefit the county?
It's a lot more.
So I missed, say that again?
I think that would benefit a lot more by doing that if there would have been an intersection on that 4-lane highway at there.
Right, because it's plumb down to, it's way on down the road there. Man, you're what, Linn Valley's, the only access right there going the other way.
By doing that, opening this up to more industrial, you're disrupting a lot of people between where that exit is and to this property.
So what's that property come out on, the north side? Is that the Miami County line? Is that 2400 road?
There's
It's the south side is 2400 road. The north side would be
The north side,
379. Is that coming with 399?
Road.
Huh?
The Jingo course. Jingo Road runs.
Yeah.
So the Lacine exit and the Miami County exit is the only two roads that run east-west at that point, right?
Well, they get on the highway. There's other roads that run. I think it's
You have to
But
go.
that's off the 4-lane.
yeah, 399th and 152 is the only.
there's no road on the county line.
The 2400 road is the most northern road in Linn County. I think on off 1095 there's 2450.
And then you're still from the north side of this proposed piece of ground here, you've still got another mile north to get to 399
Right.
through the property that they're wanting to keep as a youth camp. So that access to the two exits this later, right?
So if it becomes heavy industrial, the access is gonna be a deal for the county as far as roads.
No, that wouldn't be, that would be for the county, because that's state. What's 69 highway, that's state,
Yes.
It's state.
state. Yeah. State,
But I meant to get, because there's no state access, then it's gonna fall on the county to get into the property, because they're gonna have to come in the
the
other
only
side.
way they can get in there now is from the south.
So how are they getting into Wade? Or the ham or whatever it's called?
You get it, come in from the south.
Well, yeah,
What's that road?
that's 2400 that runs along
The
there.
one that goes north,
Valley,
Valley Road.
yeah,
Or,
Olery.
So it'd be no
one
different,
side of the highway.
it'd be no different than the current quarry.
Right, no different. My concern would be is we would need more on that road, with, like I said, still have control of it. Of what.
I would have an issue if it was in the middle of ag. But you've got ag to the east that's operating as industrial. I mean, what's more heavy industrial than quarry? And then the other property to the east is industrial. And then to the west is the highway. So it makes sense to me that that should be industrial. Regardless of what they're trying to do. What else? Any more?
No, I agree with you. It's just a larger scale of what we just did for Carly.
Right.
By making hers countryside to make it more appealing to a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought about that, didn't I?
That's, it could end up being a quarry. It could be. You didn't need to do it. I just hate taking the opportunity from them trying to grow the business.
But probably one of my more limiting factors would be is, hey, they've already started this work here. So if it would ever turn into something other than a rock quarry, a potential buyer's gonna have to deal with that.
Oh, I think go ahead, sure.
Okay,
Just keep it brief.
I'll keep it brief. I'll just say a couple things. One is, I've argued against the trucks coming out of those quarries at both CUPs, like, be careful, we have kids with vans coming down Jingo Road with many huge loaded trucks with drivers not very qualified. So it's not going to be more than that. I can guarantee you whatever happens on this particular piece of property. The quarry that's leased, they have a very small section of leased quarry. We're not interested in more quarry. There's already 2 quarries right there. Plenty of rock to go around. We're not looking at doing more quarry. We're looking at the highest and best use. That's what we're trying to get for this property. It's highest and best use, which is I-2. So.
Thank you. Steve, you have anything? Okay. I think anything else? No? Honey? Ready for a motion? Anyone?
I'll do it. I'll move to accept it on the staff money.
So it's moved that we accept the rezoning based on the staff findings. Is there a second for that? No seconds? Can I second it?
Yeah.
I'll second it. Okay, so we have a motion and second to accept the rezoning. Any more discussion? As far as the worksheet is concerned, I think, is there anything in there that Jenny's outlined on the golden findings that we need to change? Okay. Hearing no more discussion, moved and seconded to accept the rezoning for youth front. Case number US-KS 107-LU-2025-7. All in favor of this rezoning, say aye or raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to make note of this. So Dave, Donnie, and Steve. Okay, all against? Raise your hand. Okay. Motion passes 4-2. Okay, back to old business. I forgot to approve the minutes. We gotta go back and look at the minutes that Jenny gave you for February 10th. I wasn't at that meeting, but I did view most of it. I couldn't find anything in the minutes that needs to be changed. Anybody else? We're missing Connie. Connie always finds something. Okay, so is there a motion to approve the February 10th minutes as presented?
I'll make such a motion.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against, no? Okay, so the minutes pass. What else we got? Misplaced my agenda, of course.
Anything else?
Yeah, so I do want to address the zoning regulations that we're working on. We did after that workshop that we did, we redlined those and emailed those out to everybody. If you didn't get it, or if you need a printed copy, let Jenny know. She'll print a copy for you. Yeah, please. So, do we have anything for the April 14th meeting? Do we have any CUPs or rezoning, you know? Okay, so I'd like to, if we don't have any, or whether we do or we don't, I'd like to get back into those regulations on April 14th. And I'd like to start that workshop at 6. If we have a regular meeting, we can do that at 7. So we can do the workshop at 6. If we have anything come up for the regular meeting, we can adjourn the workshop and start over again at 7. That way we can start a little earlier. So just plan on April 14th at 6. And be sure that you go through that red line. We did a lot of work, and we need to try to wrap it up so we can get a hearing on the regulations. So please do your homework so we don't have to go through it line by line when we get here. Okay? Any other questions? I hear a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Okay, discussion? No. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
Aye.